The Black Fat Femme Podcast is a production of iHeartRadio and Dr. John Paul, LLC. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I'm one of your hosts, John, also known as Dr. John Paul. And nigga, we made it.
Did we?
We made it to the final. Look, it's the final countdown. Yes, happy Chinooka to everybody.
I hate you, bitch. I hate you so much.
I don't know what Chinooka is. My happy Chinooka to everybody who has made it. We've made it to one of the most saddest, stinking ass, dirty ass years of our lives, honey. But I am grateful for the blips of joy I had this year. But my God, this 2025 was rank, honey. And to top it off, we're pushing 70 days that a contractor has not paid me. And we talked about 70 days. I've been checking the mail every day. I've emailed them. I've reached out to people. Still, we're on day 70 of not being paid. But it's all good because my bills are still paid. I still have what I need. And I was able to do what I needed to do for the holidays, which I'm grateful for. So with that being said, even though I am Teresa Chiduche in this moment and ready to flip a table, you prostitution whore! I am still okay because joy will come in the morning. But anyway, how are you doing, my love?
Have you seen that clip of RuPaul be like la 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 do 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 do.
What?
RuPaul's doing an interview and RuPaul's just singing that song and say la 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 la.
Yeah.
They just go. Let me say, y'all, lovies, it's your bestie Jordan, aka Joho. And I want to pop off this morning.
Go ahead.
So it's morning time where we are at present. It's an early day. It's a long, it's been a long year, girl.
But we're almost, Christmas is what? 2 days from now?
Christmas is 2 days from now.
2 days from now. Yes. Love it.
I'm fine for my life. Y'all look crusty right now. My hair is like, my haircut today, so I'm not doing anything about it. But like, my point is, I don't put my best self, so I'm gonna pop off like a bad bitch today. I am tired of the HotGaysTM trademark bitches. I am tired of y'all taking up space and excluding people. I'm tired of y'all only talking to people you think are fuckable. And I am tired of some of y'all talk about wanting to build inclusive spaces, but your friend group is only white people and you only fuck skinny bitches. I am sure someone's gonna say, you know what, Jordan, you're jealous. And maybe if I was conventionally hot gay, I might do the same thing. Girl, let me be mad. Let me be mad. Let me pop off. Let me be a bitch about it. Because at the end of the day, I'm not that thing. Okay. So I will critique it. And I critique it because I care. Because I want these bitches to stop being dumb ass, rowdy ass hoes. Tragically, beloved, I still have a right to my feelings. And I pray that if I was a hot gay TM, I would have the wherewithal to truly embrace diverse everything. Y'all can kiss my grits and kick rocks with that bullshit. I am so tired. And this was prompted by, I've seen too many people being like, I want more inclusion, but you do nothing for inclusion for yourself, girl. Okay. Yeah. There's this dude I know in the community who, like, bless his soul, you know, great gowns, beautiful gowns, is always running his mouth about how, like, we aren't more inclusive. Bitch, you only fuck white dudes. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, two things can be true at the same time.
You can't include yourself. Like,
right.
Make it make sense. So I'm tired of like seeing, like, it's like, you know, for example, like when there's like a hot gay, right, TM, and you're like talking to them, you know, when they're like they're looking for someone else to talk to when you're talking to them, because you're not. And I'm like, girl, respect me, bitch. First of all, because you came to me to talk to me about some bullshit, and then you want me to like be here and like offer you some emotional counseling. But as we're doing that, you keep looking every other direction for XYZ man with abs. Girl, why are you? Don't waste my time or your time. Like, I do not need to be. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your mama. I'm like, if you can't even like see me as a person in this moment, as you're coming to me with some bullshit, girl, fuck off.
Right. Right.
Fuck out of here.
But a lot of them, and I mean, and this is the thing that I think a lot about, a lot of folks aren't well, and I say this
Mhm.
specifically in our community. A lot of folks are not doing the work that they need to do to unpack a lot of the stuff. Why are you like, who told you that the only attractive folks in this world are white people?
Okay.
A lot of folks, and this is the other thing too, a lot of the girls who are quote unquote hot gays TMs often have a lot of body like dysmorphia and a lot of issues in their own head, and so they're seeking out the beauty in other people because they're trying to like they're struggling with seeing it in themselves. We could talk for hours about this, and this might be an episode that we need to push into 2026, but I
Mhm.
definitely agree with you that I do believe that America's got a problem, and I think
America's a problem.
yes, like America really has a problem, and especially gay America. I think when you say gay, I'm thinking white gays. Like
Yes.
there is something very problematic and very like I don't know. I think after years, and again, I can't speak of someone who's on the dating scene, so
Mm.
I can only imagine. Like I can only talk about from where I was before I met my partner. So I'm like trying to make sure that I speak that privilege, but I definitely can understand the more the how like literally I met my partner 15, 16 years ago.
Mhm.
Folks have become more vapid, folks have become more
Yep.
sad, folks
Yep.
have become more impacted by social media. So I can only imagine how awful it can be for somebody saying like, please see me not for my looks, for how who I am as a person, and having to deal with all of the confounds of everything else. So I'm for anybody who's listening, I'm sorry. Like I'm really sorry that the world is still so terrible. And to you, Joho, like I'm really sorry that people
Well, it's
only
just
see you
like
as the help, quote
it's just,
unquote.
I mean, really, it's just like I just don't foresee. I just don't understand. Like, it's not that terrible to me. Like it's not that terrible, but like it's just like our currency is much more than just what our like. Our currencies are so much more than like some social ranking or some like
Yeah.
hierarchy of a body, right? And part of it is also like people's refusal to expand their own.
Hmm.
Gir- Girl, do you hear that?
Yeah. Is someone outside screaming?
Yeah, let me check.
Can you? Yeah, go
Should
check.
okay, be right back.
Yeah, I'm like, it is not the end of the year unless some shit is happening. What is going on?
I hate to say it. I just closed my window. I said, I'm so sorry, beloved. But like, I can't help.
You know what? Ain't got nothing to do with me. I
Nothing with
know
me.
that's right.
It's not my
You
business. This is not my
you
business.
said,
It's coming from
mm,
the back, and I live in the front. So I'm
yeah,
not
you said that
I'm
you
not looking
won't be
back,
doing
baby. I'm
none
not
of
looking
that.
back. Like
And you said, each one
get somebody
teach
else to
one,
do it.
please
Okay,
hold.
I'm so sorry.
Each one teach
They
one,
said
please
if you see
hold.
something, say something.
So
But I heard
and
something.
I don't
So
see
I didn't see
anything.
nothing.
It's not here something
I
say literally. Oh, I want to name this episode. Like it's not. I know this. None of this is gonna make it in the cut, but I definitely want to name this episode. Here's see something, say something.
Chris, if you just cut this as like a blooper reel for me, because I
Please.
went out and was I told my roommate, I said, "Do you hear that?" And she said, "No." I said,
Okay, and shut the window. Well, ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay.
"Good."
So with that being said, we can move on
What was
to.
that?
I don't even remember
I
what
was
we were
talking
talking
about
about,
some
child.
deep ass shit. I think I
And
was
then it was just like, ah!
at first I was like, was that me? Did I just do that?
No, it was something outside. I was like, bitch.
Anyways, as I was what I was trying to say, I hate people. So that's
Yeah.
like God. This
I
is
think
already
this
a
year
mess
has
of an
really,
episode. Let's
I think just, yeah, to say,
oh
to ground it. Yeah. Go ahead.
so what I was saying was like I just think like people need to expand their women's horizons of like what like the hierarchy of bodies looks like. And
Yeah.
like it's just I know like it's I wish it wasn't something that I had to talk about either. Like because it's not something that I am like, it doesn't impact my own self-esteem. I'm just bothered by how we treat others if we can't get something from them. And that's also what it is for me, I think. It's like
Hmm.
if I can't get something from you in this way, I'm not going to communicate or engage. And I'm like,
and that's everywhere. That I
Yeah.
think that's the thing that really grinds my gears, like both in queer and not spaces, even in
Yeah.
entertainment. Like people want to like, and that's why like we were talking earlier about something in the pre-show, and we were talking about this person saying, "Oh, I know you, and I know you," and I'm like, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I know you," and it's like, no, you actually don't know me, and people will say that because they in their mind are thinking about what they can get from you
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
so yeah, it's just we live in a really fucked up time. And like I said, for anybody who's going through it, if you are going through something and you want to write in about it, we would love to have that as one of our topics to discuss, like this idea of like how do we and I mentioned this in a few episodes ago, talking about decolonizing. I think what you are speaking about is your this idea of decolonizing literally the way that you see the world, your friend groups, the people that you're interested in dating, the people you're interested in being in community with, like that. There's this whole conversation about
Mhm.
decolonizing all of that, and I think
Mhm.
that that would make a really great topic. So if folks want to write in about that, would love to hear your thoughts. With that being said, we're going to honor our girl Miss Tisha Campbell like we do every week in our still here segment. And considering that we are literally 2 days away from the holiday, and after the year that we have had, I wanted to celebrate the joy that is, bitch, we made it. We made it to the end of the year. We've done the best that we can to find the joy where we can find it. And so I really wanted to ask you this year, like, what gift it again, I know this year didn't feel like one. My God. But I did want to ask you, what did this year give you? And I will say I would love to know if, like, whether it be tangible or not, like I don't think it's bad for you to say, "Oh, I got this thing and it's made my life a whole bunch better." So whether it be tangible or not, so I'll start by saying that the continuation of the show was the biggest gift, and
Mm.
seeing how folks responded to some of the episodes that we
Mm.
did this year. I know that there have been a few episodes where folks have reached out and said, "Oh my God, thank you for talking about this thing. I was going through this and I didn't know how
Mhm.
to deal with it." I think specifically folks really I know we did a full ass political episode where we talked about politics, we talked about being involved, and I know a lot of folks responded very positively to that episode. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I was really worried that people were going to be like, "Oh my God, y'all are too political. Ain't nobody trying to
Mm.
hear all that." But I actually got more folks in my inbox being like, "That was a really great episode." And so I think that was probably like one of the biggest things, is just seeing how people respond to the show
Mm.
in different ways. Like people being
Yeah.
like, "Oh, aren't you a part of your Black Fat Femme?" Or, "Oh," and I still think about that man when I got on that plane and he looked at me. He was like, "You that podcasting nigga, ain't you?" That still lives in my head rent free, and so I really want to say that. I will also say my book tour was one of the best things. I mean, it was stressful. It was very
Mm.
costly. I'm still paying it off, but I'm very grateful that I was able to do that. And then I also think I mentioned at the top of this year how hard it was for me, feel friendship wise, right?
Mm.
And going into this year feeling very alone and just dealing with a whole bunch of different things that I really needed to work with, old religion shit, old
Mm.
trauma. And I think for me, this year really gave me the gift of, so I don't, I still, I need to ask him if he listens, but I was able to reconnect with a friend of mine who so I've told y'all that I lost my best friend to COVID. We all know that, Carla, and I speak her name often. I lost her in 2022, and since then it has been very hard to feel like I'm like close to people, or that I have someone, quote unquote, that's my best friend per se. And again, I'm not to say that, like, I want folks listening to this not to feel like Jordan is not my, like, one of my best friends. Jordan is my best friend in a different. I think we all have best friends in different
I hear you. Like,
capacities.
like, like, like,
Yeah,
like, Colin was like that was like your
that
person,
was my
like
person.
your I
Yeah,
get that. Like, yeah,
yeah,
like
and
no,
so
I
it
think no one's gonna be like, oh, you're right.
yeah.
Like
Well, people be
people
trying
know
to make
we
us
are.
ops, right? People
That's
be
all
trying
right.
to
We'll
make
never be
us like
us,
we're
but
fighting against each
people know
other,
we're sisters
and
regardless.
I
They'll be
don't know
like,
what that's about. But anyway, Jordan is my best friend, both as a
but I
podcaster, but
get like
also
Colin was
in
like your
life.
person. Like
But
she was your person. So
Carla
yeah.
was my girl. We kikied and we talked shit, and she would tell me about her man problems, and she would also tell me about life problems, and we would sit and we would dream together about the things we wanted to do. So
Mm.
Carla was my girl, and to lose her was very, very hard, and it's still hard, and it's still sometimes very hard for me to talk about it. But anyway, I had a friend years ago. We were both in the same religion. We went to the same Kingdom Hall. For those of you who know, I was Jehovah's Witness, and we lost connections with each other. Just life happened. I
Mm-hmm.
went to college. They went off to go do their thing. They got married. I got married, and then we just lost touch. And this year they found me on Instagram, sent me a message, and was like, "Hey, I would love to hang out with you and just catch up." And it's always weird when people do that because you're like, "Nigga, I ain't seen you in almost 25 years. I don't know you." And we did. I went
Yeah.
they came to my book talk. We went to dinner and I was like, "Wow, it felt like we hadn't missed a beat." It was literally like, "Oh, I'm catching up with Michael in a way that like we when we were like in high school." So it was really
Mm,
cool. We went to Disneyland. We are now making plans to do stuff for next year. And it's like, oh, okay. The biggest gift was being able to reconnect with my little brother Michael. So if you're listening, Puff, I love you. Thank you for reconnecting with me. I think that was God's way of saying, girl, you're not by yourself. And I just really, really appreciate that the universe gave me that. But anyway, that was
mm,
my long way of saying I'm just grateful for what this year has given me because there's been a lot of shit that has happened this year that I'm not grateful for. But I did want to say that there are little blips of joy that I have. So
mm.
what are some of yours? I know today is a hard one, so I get
Well,
it.
okay, so my words of the year were disrupt and transform. So
Mm,
I strive to have words of every year that kind of guide me throughout the year, things I can
mhm.
like anchor and reflect on of like, okay, when and how did I practice these in my life this year?
Right.
I had some goals as well too, which I did not meet like at all. God damn. So one could say
I did not finish my action
I
plan,
did
but go
not
off.
did not meet did not meet the expectations of myself.
Yeah.
So I guess the gift I was given,
Does not meet expectations.
like I failed my own performance review. The gift I guess I was given is the humility to recognize that sometimes things
Screaming.
just don't go your way, and that's okay.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know if I did disrupt or transform this year. I
Mhm.
don't know what I disrupted or what I transformed or whom I transformed or disrupted. Who's to say? But I think
Who?
who,
Not
who,
dear who.
who
Who's to
it's
say?
just sometimes like I think
Mhm.
things are just rough. I think this year
Yeah.
is just a rough year. It's so interesting actually because I will say I can't believe it's been a year because I remember at during Trump's inauguration, my friend called
Mhm.
me and was like, I'm actually scared. I do not know how I'll get through this year. I do not know what's happening. I they were like really depressed. And like they're by the end of the show, I think they're a much better place now.
Okay.
But I can't believe that that was literally almost that was 11 months ago.
That was a
Like
blip. Yeah.
I literally
Yeah.
am like, wow,
It
that
was a
went
blip.
by so fast. And part of me
Mhm.
is like, I don't know if I can do 3 more years of this. But
We
I
can.
think maybe what I can say as well this year gave me is the understanding that like and I'll say this a bit more in our conversation we have,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
because I know the question that talks about this too, but we yearn for control. And I
Mm.
think this year the gift maybe a gift I got was realizing how much I'm not in control.
Nope.
In some ways, like how I can be more in control
Mhm.
and want to do so and need to adjust what that looks like for me, adjust my expectations and meeting those things. I think I maybe had too many goals and like maybe I just do like one thing, girl, instead of five
Mhm.
things. Like
Mhm.
my vision board was 5 goals and I didn't not meet any of those goals. And maybe because I spent too much time trying to do all of them versus like just saying, let's meet one or two of these and call that a good
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So I think adjusting that, reflecting on um like the acknowledgement that things take time and that it's okay, like it's okay. Like this is one blip year of like some good years like there like the past 5 years I've had some really great years and
Mhm.
this one's just not a great one and that's okay.
Yeah.
um I feel like I'm like, oh, I see on my face it's not a great one, but it's gonna be okay.
And it's gonna
Be all
and
right.
again, there are days where you feel like, "Da, da, da, I'm that girl." And then there are gonna be some times in life where you're
Yeah,
just not. And
I
I don't wanna yeah, go ahead, go
I was
ahead.
just say like I will say like some great things this year was like I went to New York twice. That was
See?
amazing. I got to do New York with, like, people that I love. I had, like, one of the best times when we were there for Halloween.
Mhm.
I had a great time when I was there in May. I went to New Orleans for the first time.
Yes.
I've been to some new places, this year, and that's been really fun too. Like, as much as I may sound down about the year, I think I also always have a lot of gratitude for it. Like, I really have a lot of gratitude for
Mm.
the ability to move, the ability to travel,
Right.
the affordability, the ability to take up space, the ability that, my fat ass can fit in a plane seat. I may need the bug center, but I fit in a plane seat, I can still go somewhere.
Mhm.
I'm still able to move my body. Um, yeah, so
Mm.
I have a lot of gratitude as well too for the things that I was able to do this year.
Yeah. And that's I think that's the key to this episode. As much as we're talking about the BS of it, I think for me, I'm really trying to root and ground myself in this idea of like 2025, let me find the gratitude
Mhm.
before I let, this regime or I let all of the terrible things that did and didn't happen to me kind of take away from
Yeah.
it. But with that being said, now that we got you wanting to email Santa's elves to make sure he didn't mess up anything on your Christmas list this year, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and talk more about gratitude in just a second.
And we are back, fam. And being that this is the last show of the year, we wanted to leave you with some thoughtfulness and helping us see you through the new year. Now, we all know that this part of the year can be stressful. Family you don't want to see, interact with, the costs of
Mhm.
gifts, and the general stress that comes with the holiday. But something we have really rarely given attention to is how and why the concept of New Year, New Me can really set us up for failure in the new year. So I want to
Mhm.
discuss some message that sends to folks about where they are right now. So I first want to say, like, I used to feel that it was a trap for people, right? And
Mhm.
now part of me is like, I don't know if people like this, and I love that for them. And I think it's great that people feel they can change it around, right? Change your
Mhm.
costume,
Mhm.
Mimi. Change it
Change,
around.
change it around. Yeah.
Like, but I think people's approach is what matters. And so, like, I want to begin by saying, like, the messaging of get healthy or get right in the new year
Mhm.
sets people up for failure, because if that's the intention,
Mhm.
then people actually aren't focusing on what's sustainable for themselves.
Right.
And so I think, right, like, I want to discuss maybe a bit more today of how that messaging impact
I'm just laughing at the Mimi comment. Change it around. Change the
around costume
costume, Mimi.
Mimi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I want, frame this as like, what about what we see around us that sets us up for failure? Because I want to be really
Mm.
clear in saying I don't think, like, it's not that we're failures in
Right.
ourselves.
Right.
We may feel like we failed ourselves in some ways, right? I was just saying that in the last segment, but it's
Mhm.
more about how I think, like, and I obviously I want people to be accountable for themselves too. But I
Mhm.
also think we're sold the idea that we can just change everything, and maybe in some cases we can. But this is the whole point I was saying earlier of, like, sometimes you aren't in control, and
Nope.
oftentimes you aren't in control, and
Mhm.
you can't control the things around you often. And so when they say, right, new year, new me, unless you have all the resources to do that for yourself,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
really just not easy. And when your
No.
intention is to change this superficial, right, or like vanity thing, and not about it's like you, like, you're changing yourself to address a symptom of something, but
Mhm.
you aren't fixing yourself, girl. Like, you aren't adjusting the root of where it comes from. I think for me this year, I gave a lot of thoughts into what are the root of my challenges. Um, so I actually wasn't able to address the, like, challenges themselves. So
Mhm.
I was focusing on excavating what the root was. And so now I get
Mm.
to go into the new year saying, okay, I know the core parts of this challenge. I can maybe correct that, and maybe that will, and hopefully that will spark some change outwardly in this way.
Right.
So yeah, so I kind of want to start with that. What are your thoughts on?
Yeah, I love that we're having this convo because I will say I know that we have touched on this in the past, and so for those of you who have been with us since day one, you know that we've we've hinted at this. I think it was actually Joelle who was on the show with us when we were talking
Mm.
about it, and we were just talking about this idea of not letting the new year kind of dictate who you are and what you want to be, who you want to be
Yeah.
in the new year. But we never really talked about the concept of the new year, new me. And I think that for me is what I love that we're discussing. And for those of you who want to go back to the episode, I think it's like episode 15 or somewhere like between 15 and 20. Not quite sure what episode it was, but it's there. But what I will say is that we never talked about the messaging that it sends. And I think for me, the reason why I put this on here was kind of to your point at the top of the show. Like I did the same thing. I had set out, and I've done this years prior. I set out and I go, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then November-ish and December starts to kind of meld. And then I'll look back and I'll be like, ooh, girl, I ain't did
Mm.
half of the shit that I said I was gonna do.
Mhm.
And then you start to feel like, well, when it's time to do the highlight reel, because that's what everyone does now, right? It's like, oh, I have to do my threads reel and I have to do this reel and I have to talk about all these amazing
Mhm.
things that I've done. You can start to feel like, wow, I didn't do anything. And then you start to feel like, oh, I'm a terrible person. And I'm going like so much of that. And I hate that every time we're on the mic, we're talking about this, but so much of that is rooted in capitalism. It's so much of it is rooted in this idea that if you're not productive or if you are not quote unquote changing the world or if you're not
Mm.
doing this, if you're not times 100. And I want to say this, like I think that this is the perfect space for me to say this, like especially me being in the lane that I'm in, right? Like, being an author and doing all of these things, right? I wasn't on anybody's list this year. And it can make you feel like shit, I'm not doing
Mm.
anything, right? I'm not doing anything to change the world. And so much of it can be rooted in shame and in pressure. And it can often feel like you're not giving anything to the world, right? And so even so much of it, and I was going to say this too, like so much of this whole like new year new me is often rooted and connected into diet culture,
Mm.
this idea of productivity and perfectionism. And so I wanted to kind of put this out there as not necessarily a we need to have a deep discussion about that why all of this is problematic. Like you said, if it works for you, great, but I think that there's something to be said about how hard this year has been for so many people. Like that's all I see when I'm on
Yeah.
social media is like, thank God we made it. And then this idea of, oh, if you didn't do all of these things, then or even, oh, I got to do all of this stuff next year. It's like, nah, nigga, we got 3 more years to survive this shit. Do what you got to do to survive, and you can thrive accordingly, right? I thrived with the book, I thrived with this podcast, I thrived with my girl in New York. Like we thrived in different things, right? We went to an award show, like we thrived.
Mhm.
But the reality is a big part of this year for us was survival. And so if next year all your new year new me is, nigga, I'm just gonna figure out a new way to survive, that's okay. And that's literally what I really wanted folks to hear from this episode as we get ready to go into quote unquote another year of this. I really wanted folks to be able to start thinking about how can I take some of the pressures off of me, the pressures that
Mm.
everyone seems to have normalized. How can I start to like move it around, Mimi? How can I move that around a little bit?
You know, I often every year I watch I like a long await the Google's year-end search. Like I love seeing like their roundup of the year, what the trends or what the theme was, right? What was the overall theme? What was the most searched thing on Google? And this year was like I think the theme of this year was reimagine. But I wasn't as moved this year as I typically have been. Like I've been watching it every year for the past decade. Like I love
Mhm.
the year in search. Last year's was really quite amazing. I really love 2021's because very powerful, very like moving and deep. Or
Mhm.
21's and then 2022's and even 2023. It's like I the past few years I've loved like so many of these. And this year I was kind of like, this is really not like this is
It's
not
not
it's
giving.
not giving, girl. The year in search
Mhm.
was a sad year in search. Well, ain't no one searching shit on this thing. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
realized, right, like it was a reflection of the year just wasn't that. Like all around the year was we started off right. We started off the year with the Austin fires, which was
Yeah.
deeply deeply impactful, and people are still being impacted by that, right? People are still saying
Still.
like we actually haven't got
Yeah.
our insurance checks that
I just met
that
somebody who said the same thing.
that
Yep.
Gavin Newsom like said
Mhm.
he was gonna push to happen, still hasn't happened yet, right? People still are pushed out of their homes. Their homes are not rebuilt. Out in Pasadena and in the Palisades, right? Like that, the new president, like things were just not good. So I think this year everyone has kind of felt a collective, like, I wouldn't say sigh. Not everybody, because some people are doing just fine,
Right.
tragically. But I think a lot of us who, when we live in radical spaces, progressive spaces,
Mhm.
have this collective grief. And also,
Mhm.
it's not like also we can have the grief, and we should maybe hold the grief. And I think
Mm.
something I thought about a lot is who profits from us believing me to become a completely different person, right? Who
Mm.
profits from saying you actually have no time to grieve because you have to change yourself
Mhm.
come January 1st, 2026.
Mhm.
Especially when we work so hard to become the person we already are, right? Like when we because when we say new year, new me, to your point, it's usually influenced by a gym or private medical provider, et cetera. And so it's not necessarily for our benefit.
Mm.
I think a lot about an article a few years ago that tracked the data of how long people follow the new year, new me mindset, and trends showed for fitness, right? People fell off after a month or two,
Mm.
especially when there wasn't a sustainable plan. And I appreciate that there's a gym, this article that was like, yeah, sure, it's nice that we have an increase in memberships, but we'd rather see people sustain themselves year round. We'd
Mm.
rather we they're like we don't the 2 months of extra memberships does nothing for us in the day.
Right.
Like increases our bottom line maybe for 2 months and that's it. But like in the day, we end up losing more members, which looks bad on us. One, but
Yeah.
two, people aren't actually having the tools to like change themselves. And so I think right
Or
we
pause, or to sustain it. I think that's the
yes, so
real thing.
that's right. So
Yeah.
yes, that's right. So what I'm saying
Mhm.
is people have the tools to sustain themselves.
Yeah.
They are given the entry point to change, and then it's like,
Good luck, girl.
we'll introduce you. Good luck, babe. And
Mhm.
it's like no one's going like no right there's no
Yes.
education or cultivation of saying how do you care for yourself beyond this point, how do
Mhm.
you change again, right? You're addressing a symptom and not the cause.
The cause,
And
yeah.
so I think like that's just something that people that really want to be mindful of this new year is one on January 1st. If it brings you joy to say it's a new year, you're wiping the slate clean, I love that for you, I really do. And also if your reality is still full of grief or pain, like that's also okay, right? Like I do believe
Real.
in a spiritual cleansing, right? I believe in like Olympiad, like I believe in people like right, like if people on New Year's, I know like some cultures, right? They'll like broom out the bad energy of the front door.
Mm.
People sit
Mhm.
at the table and eat grapes, right? Like there's different traditions that people do for New Year, and I do love that. And I think there's something special about saying we want to try and call in some good energy in any ways that we know how, and I think that's important for yourself. But I don't want anyone to take that and say I don't want anyone to say like tomorrow it all changes and it's all good
Mm.
because that
Mhm.
is true more likely a fallacy.
Yeah, yeah.
And when the good does not happen, you're going to be more disappointed
Yep,
versus
yep.
saying like, you know what, I'm coming into January 1st with some grief, with some
Mhm.
pain, with some sadness, and with some joy, and with some excitement and eagerness.
Yeah,
And we will get to those things, but I have to also give myself space to move through that grief and pain
yeah,
and
yeah.
sadness.
Mhm. Responding to, a lot of I think some really, really poignant things that you mentioned. I think it's also important for us to recognize how the whole concept of new year, new me, racist context, like you said,
Yeah.
trauma, disability, mental health, racism, and poverty. Like you can't have like your new year can't be a quote unquote a new me if you're still carrying the stress and all of the shit that is following you based off of this. And I think 2025 for a lot of us, that's what's happening. A lot of us, like, and I say a lot of us, not specifically talking about like me or you, but I'm talking about like I think about the black women who lost their jobs. I think about the folks who have had to all of the over at CBS who have been ousted out of their positions, right? Like
Mm,
there's so much loss. Like same thing. The people in Altadena. I mean, I know I mentioned this earlier, and I said, I just met someone right around the time we were taking our Christmas photos, we had met a family while we were taking our Christmas photos who had said, "I lost both of my homes." They it was a black family, and they
Mm,
literally had bought 2 or 3 of the homes on their street so their family could stay near each other,
wow.
and the daughter was living in one house, and then the cousin was living in the house
Wow.
around the corner, and all 3 of those houses were gone.
Wow.
And so they were talking to us while we were getting our pictures done about what their life has been like this year and how they had to move to San Bernardino and all these different things that they didn't want to
Wow.
do. And it just reminded me of like, how can you say new year new me when you're everything feels heavy, when everything is hard. And so
Mm,
everywhere we turn, we're dealing with some type of psychological battle because of this administration. And I want to give us hope that next year we will somehow be better, and it will be better for us, because I think what I'm also starting to notice, and which I'm watching and I love, is I'm starting to see people figure out how to regulate in this moment. And even
mm,
for myself, like there was a moment this year where I was like, I don't know how much more of this I can take. And then I was like, okay, girl, we got to get out of this because you still got more shit to do
mhm,
and things you want to do. And so I think for us, it's figuring that out, and it's not necessarily a new me; it's a new way of moving throughout this
mm,
system that's here. And so I think it's important to remind people that in a lot of ways, a lot of the folks who come to this show, a lot of the folks who listen, we are all being set up to fail, to overwork ourselves, to be led to believe that we are the ones not doing enough to get to the place that we quote unquote need to be. And that's exactly what the oppressor wants. It's all fake. When you scale it back, money is fake, these jobs are fake, the internet is fake, everything is fake. Nothing you can do more of is going to change the fact that a lot of these systems are rigged.
yeah.
And so even if you lose the way, and that's the thing that I also want to make mention, right? As somebody who has been really big and somebody who has been very thin, the schematics of your world is there's still going to be some element of sadness that you're going to deal with. And so if
Mm,
you think, and again, I'm not trying to shit on nobody who wants to, oh, I'm going to lose weight in 2026. Okay, girl, do that. But I'm telling you right now that if you're not doing X, Y, and Z with that weight loss, you are still going to be sad. You are still going to be dealing with a lot of the same shit that you're dealing with in that bigger body. And so that's the thing I really wanted to kind of like hit on in this convo, is that the new year, new me never does not remove or take away a lot of the shit that's already there,
yeah.
that's been stacked against stuff. Stacked against us. And I do want to say, like, you're doing enough in this moment.
Like I was saying earlier, as I was mentioning earlier, I think people are yearning for some sense of control in their lives, and we have to acknowledge that we can only control our choices.
Yeah.
That's like the only time of control we have is what our choices are. And so I really appreciate you naming, like, you can't have a new year, new me if you're still experiencing the effects of racism. You
Hmm.
can't have a new year, new me if like you're experiencing the possibility of being unhoused, right? You can't have those things when like systematically things are trying to harm you. And I'm not saying it through the lens like you can't make a change, you can't
Right.
like I'm not also not
Right.
trying to position this as like a hopelessness. What I'm saying is you can't have these things happen and then say, "Oh, but like Kim Jan first, I am like it's all being different." Like
Hmm.
you will have to actually address that thing still. You will have to get more support from people around you. And so I really hope people can find the opportunities to hold that as they want to embark on something new for themselves. I think also I really appreciate you saying that like you've been enough, you've done enough. 'Cause I think also places when the marketing is that it's a new year, new me because your current you is not good enough or something, right?
That that.
And I'm curious your take on this as well, like with the difference between growth that's rooted in self hate, like I'm not enough, I'm told I'm not enough, or I need to change to like be better in the world,
Mm,
or to be seen as a better person in the world, versus growth that's rooted in I deserve better conditions. Right,
mm,
like new year, new me, as in a new me that deserves and fights for the conditions that will help me thrive. A
yeah.
new year, new me that says I refuse to settle for. these things around me, right? Like the New Year, New Year is about I'm changing things I cannot accept
Yeah.
in myself.
Yeah.
And how do we hold ourselves and others accountable to that?
Yeah, I had posted said not this Anyala ass question. I think telling people what you do and don't like is where to start. I think a big part of our lives are us sitting on things. It's funny. So again, I feel like I feel like I'm going off on so many tangents this morning because my mind is all over the place. But I will say, on Wednesday, I had a dream that I was literally well, Wednesday night going into Thursday night, I had a dream that I was going off at work.
Period.
I was going off on my boss. And then last night I had a dream, child, that I was going off on my family. So I don't know what that is. But both nights I was
You're holding
hot.
on to some
Then I
shit.
am
You're
holding
holding
on
on
to
to some
something
shit,
or
girl.
something. Yeah, it's like the back of my mind. But I think, like I said, I bring that up because and it was family who that was also not here. It was my grandfather and it was a couple of other individuals who were in the dream that are no longer with us on this plane. But I say all of that to say I think a lot of the new year new me talk or this idea of I deserve better conditions is really about telling people what you need to be your best self and what's bothering you, what's not well with you. And I think, I think after the year that we've had, I've really started to stand on this idea of I'm not going to let shit fester. I'm not going to, my biggest thing is this, when things that you don't the things that you need don't get met, oftentimes we fight to change them, right? And all of us, we all have needs, we all have wants. And again, a big part of that whole new year new me is about that. It's about the needs and it's about the wants. But I think so many of us, it's like I think there's so much we can learn from the old me. And I think, I go back to my old self a lot and I go, what did I stand for before? And who am I now? And what am I not gonna stand for now? Or what can I learn in that moment of
Mm,
being the old
mm,
me? And so I think so many of us are running from this, like, oh, I don't want to be that person anymore. And it's like, okay, you don't have to be that person, but it is okay
mm,
to embrace that person. It is okay for us to say, I am who I am. I've grown a little bit, and these are the things that I am demanding. So I think the oh, hell, half of the time they don't carry it. Yeah, there's a point that I had made in our show flow where I was talking about like so much of this whole new year, new me is for others. It's not for us.
mm,
And I really wanted to hit that because I
mm,
think that's the bigger question when you talk about holding yourself accountable is who is the new year, new me for? Like, are you really wanting to become a better
mm,
person next year? And if you say better person, then how? For me,
mm,
the better person for me is, I think I'm, I'll say this. I think I'm at the greatest place I've ever been as a person, mentally,
mm,
mindfully, why, like, professionally, I think I'm doing all right. And so I'm not running from myself in that capacity. I think what I do need to do better at is telling people how they can fuck off. And being, not being so understanding because I feel like I am too understanding in these in this world and
mm,
I give people too much grace and then I end up being the person that's angry about it later. And so I think that's the one thing next year you're going to see a lot more is me kind of jumping into that Beyonce bag and being like, that's unacceptable. I'm sorry that's not going to work for me. But I think in terms of accountability for others, um, telling people, like I said, what you need, telling people that you don't have it when you don't. I think that's the other thing is in terms of accountability is not overexerting yourself to make other people happy.
mm,
And I think that's the thing like I said, when I go back to this whole new year, new me, so much of it is, well, I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to make myself better. And it's like, no, girl, you are doing that because you're trying to you're trying to get something.
mm,
And I just don't know if we need to do that anymore. And so I really want us to just really think about it from this place of what am I truly going to be doing next year that's really going to make me feel like I'm the best person I am now. And ultimately, what's going to hold me through another year that could potentially look, and that's what I've been doing a lot of. This year could
mm,
look a lot like 2025, or it can be fucking worse. So, what are you
mm.
going to do to hold yourself in order to be able to kind of get through that? But I would love to ask you as we close, what does community care and collective goals, how can we use that as a way to replace the hyper individualistic, grind focused New Year rhetoric that we often hear around this time?
Oh, I think that's a loaded question. I think that requires people to not have a hyper individual grind focused New Year
Hmm.
rhetoric.
Right.
And I don't know if people want to give that up
Yeah.
because then that means that they like the point people view the New Year New Me as a time to focus on yourself. I think the intention to focus on community is actually powerful because you're part of community. When you have a good community around you, you
Hmm.
also likely can thrive too. I'm
Hmm.
thinking of one of my dear friends, his name is also Jordan. He's doing a project. He's launching a project called Street Stories that will focus on like doing deep storytelling interviews about the unhoused community in Oceanside, which is by San Diego, right? And like
I love that.
it's really he's been doing work with the unhoused community for years. He runs an
Hmm.
organization called Humanity Showers that focuses on providing access to hygiene. They have shower
Hmm.
trailers that people experiencing homelessness can come and use for free,
Hmm.
and get like clean clothes. They have resources to get clean clothes. They have connectors for jobs or other or
Mm.
employment. They
Love
also
it.
will provide free food. Folks, right? Like they're trying. They're both trying to address the actual symptom of something, and they're trying to also help the root cause of what they're
Mm.
happening with the what's happening with them with the access to like employment opportunities or housing support as well too. And
Yeah.
I think that's a great way of saying, right, like that project is saying if we can uplift community, then we can all be in a place where we can thrive and do well together.
Hmm.
I think it's investing yourself in projects and opportunities that focus on community.
Mm.
um I think I think goals can replace them, like but I don't know because it's you have to. It's hard because it requires us as people to decenter ourselves,
Yep.
and that is just not easy for some. It's not
Hmm.
easy for many of us. Let me reframe. It's not easy for many of us to decenter ourselves
Yeah.
in a world, and especially in a time in our country in our administration where centering ourselves is like what everyone's trying to do,
Hmm.
because you feel like it's the only way we'll survive. And I think the other big thing is sorry, is that you as when you're in scarcity mode and survival mode, you're only going to focus on the hyper
Hmm.
individual because you're in tunnel vision, right? You can
Hmm.
only focus on community when you focus on abundance and you have abundance mindset. And
Right.
so I think you have to also strive to find ways to have a more abundance mindset and to shift yourself from scarcity based approaches because you will never think beyond you, and that's also like not your fault, right? Like you also can't blame yourself because a scarcity mindset is a consequence of the systems around us, not because of
Right.
ourselves, right? So like so to that point we also have to acknowledge, okay, I know this system is set up against me. How can I say, okay, I see it, I hold it, and I'm going to do things that will try to go beyond what the system tells me I can do,
Hmm.
so I
Hmm.
can be in a space where I can also uplift those around me as well too.
Yep.
But if I'm being real with you, John, I don't think bitches will do it. Like, I
Nope.
just don't think bitches will do it.
No.
And that's okay because I know my focus will be that. I know
Yeah.
your focus will be that, and I'll be focusing and investing in people whose focus is that as
Yeah.
well. Probably not the best
Yeah.
answer, honestly, but like the part
No.
the realistic I can give.
No, I think you're asking. I mean, I think you're saying a lot of great things. Like, I think you are really, really. I think the reality is that the whole concept of, like you said, the new year, new me, really is has to be about the collective and
Mhm,
about how can I be better for other people versus it being about ourselves.
mhm.
And I think I think that's the reason why we are where we are, is that there's so
Yep,
many people who are only so self-focused and they're not focused on how do I make the world better. And I'll say that about even about this podcast, right? We could sit here and we could harp on ourselves and all the shallow dumb shit, right? But we vested this show and we've poured into the show and wanting to help
Mhm.
make people better. And it's not being given. I mean, I'll be transparent. It's not given. I know it's not being given the love or the support that it deserves because of that, right?
Mm.
Because folks are so vested in knowing that everything has to be about self, right? And I
Mhm.
think that if we were vapid, and I'm not saying, and no shade to other shows that are vapid, right? What I'm saying is that I think when you get out of the me mentality and it has to be about me, and you start focusing on how do I make the collective world better in a world where everyone is so individualistic, it's hard. It
Mhm.
is very, very hard. And so shout out to the people who are doing that. I say shout out to the girls who are still rooted in, I think about the baby who runs the what was the name of that healing organization in Los Angeles? I can see his name. I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. Um it starts with a B. It's coming to me. Beam. Yeah. Shout out to the baby who runs Beam.
Mm.
What is his
Mm,
name?
mhm.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, yes, yes. I was like, "Beep."
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here, hold
Ooh,
on.
girl, hold
My
on.
Googles. I'm gonna do my Googles. Beam or um, but
Ran
I think it's
by
YOLO is I think their name. But shout out to YOLO for what they do over at Beam, right? This idea of I could make this org about me
Mhm.
and my life and all of these things, but I'm actually going to make other Black people better.
Mm, mhm.
That makes me happy. I think about a lot of the dolls who have, again, Jade and XD, right? Jade and XD, I
Mhm.
shout them out often because
Mhm.
I think even in quote unquote their words, not mine, even in the foolishness of their show, they still root so much of their show to talk about what's going on across the world, what's happening around currently. I mean, this week they're talking about ICE. Like that is that for me is why I love my community because, and again, I might be rambling, but I definitely love these. I love the individuals and the people that listen to this show, that listen to shows like Jaden XD, that use orgs like Beam because they're rooted in this idea of we are the only ones who are going to be able to help sustain us through this moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't believe that the new year, new me is going to ever serve anybody personally.
Mm. Well,
Mm.
now that we've asked that black lady to get off them steps and that New Year's meme, we gonna take a quick break
Girl,
for
sit
some.
down. We tired. Sit
We tired,
down.
we
Take them
tired.
shoes off. Yeah,
We're
go
gonna take a
ahead.
quick break for some
Mhm.
advertisements, and we'll be back with more show next.
All right, y'all. So we are back and we are going to do a quick zoom by of what's popping because obviously this year didn't really give a lot, but this year did give us some wins. It gave us some wins. And so we wanted to take a quick moment in terms of like pop culture to just give some gratitude to the year of the things that we could say that we wanted to celebrate. So me and Joho have made a list. I'm going to read them. Joho is going to chime in. I probably will piggyback or I will dovetail off of their chiming in off of this list. But we did see some good stuff this year, and I'm happy to say it. So let's start off the year talking about Miss Carter.
Hey, Miss Carter,
We got the Cowboy Carter tour.
which was incredible and
It was
really
incredible.
like it. I maintain Renaissance was the most fun concert I've ever been to, and
See,
Cowboy Carter was the most impactful.
intentional.
Like
Yes, intentional,
I came
impactful.
back
Yes.
like, oh, I'm thinking about some shit.
Uh huh.
That
Uh
was
huh.
fucking dope. Like you,
Art.
the art, you bitches
Yes.
could
Yes.
never be art.
Yes, it was art,
Yeah.
honey. I definitely will say I agree. Renaissance gave me my life. Um, uh, Cowboy Carter made me think about my life,
Yes.
and I think that
Yes.
that was the thing that I garnered a
Maybe
lot
Act
from
Three will
that.
help me change my life.
Let's pray. Let's
I
pray
pray.
that Act Three, because I know it's coming because they said that she removed Cowboy Car. She removed Act Two out of her bio on Instagram. That's usually kind of a hint.
Oh,
Like
because it'll be Act Two out now.
mhm, mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah, they removed that. So people are watching, people are paying attention.
Mm,
I think she's coming. We just don't know when.
yeah.
Kind of like Jesus. But
Period.
anyway, yeah. Next we got I'm going to say I added
Yeah,
Dula
that's all
Peep to
you.
that list. because Dula Peep or Dua Lipa, I went to her concert. One of the best concerts I have probably been to in a long time. Visually stunning. I just thought it was a great tour. So I just really wanted to shout out Dula Peep for what she does. We saw Danity Kane get back together.
I love that you put Dainty Kane, which honestly,
Dan,
but yeah, I'm like, but facts, Dainty Kane,
Dainty
because like
Kane. Yes.
they people have been saying the shows are good. I think they're performing in nightclubs, but the shows are good.
Mm.
You know, it's
We will see.
we'll
I
see.
will report back
But yes,
in the new year
yes,
about what that show gave. I am a little so I will say this. I am a Danity Kane fan through and through, but I'm struggling to be excited about it because uh
I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like,
damaged, damaged. Yes, I thought that I should let you know this year has left me damaged. No, I was gonna say I'm struggling a little bit with the visuals I've been seeing, and I'm really mad that the whole group is not there. And I understand why. I
yeah,
know that there's a lot of tension in that group
yeah,
between different people in the group. With that, it's not on this list, but I'm gonna add it. Seeing Diddy have his ass handed to him and us being able to hold him accountable has been really
mm,
nice. I know he went to jail last year, but the doc came out this year and it gave us more insight into
love.
a lot of his terrible doings and why I believe he's one of the worst people in the world. So happy to see him get his comeuppance. Um, I threw in our show won some awards.
Yes, we did
Yes, we won
2
some
awards for Sentinel
two
Awards,
and did.
and then a lovely fifth alternate for the Full Figured
Full
Award,
figure awards.
a finalist. Being
Mhm.
being nominated is an honor.
Yeah, being nominated is an honor. We saw we saw cancer down because of vaccines. So cancer is coming
the
down this year.
the cancer's rates of cancer are down in terms of
Yeah.
overall health, and we're seeing promise of cancer cures in clinical trials with the RNA vaccines, which are
Yes,
vaccines that
yes.
powered many by COVID vaccines like
Yes.
Moderna and Pfizer.
Yeah, and also we're finding that I guess there was a study. I don't know and I saw it in a blip. I see stuff in blips because I chronically online, but I did see that folks they were saying that I guess the COVID vaccine they're starting to see that it's actually like helping more than just us fight COVID, but it's actually fighting like heart attacks. It's fighting all these different
Oh,
things. So
amazing.
for folks who have got the vaccine or have gotten the most recent boosters, there are a lot of health benefits to it. So I just want
Mm,
to throw that out there too that COVID is still here. We are still technically in a pandemic, even though folks are not talking about it.
mhm,
And to go get vaccinated because ultimately it's going to help your health in the long run.
period.
The ozone layer is healing.
Earth is healing. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's healing a lot faster than
Okay.
what they thought it
And
would.
the scientists do believe that the ozone layer may be restored fully in our lifetime,
Okay.
which is a reverse from what we saw probably like 5 years ago. So
Yeah, I mean, if we don't kill each other first,
okay,
right.
the Earth will be fine. We may not be, but the Earth will be fine.
We may not be all
But
right, but the earth will be all right. I know that's right. Whales are also
whales are
returning.
doing great. They're returning to parts of the ocean
Yes.
they haven't returned to in decades. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
I don't know what that means for us, but love a whale. Love whales.
So cute. So
So
cute.
cute.
I would love to
Great,
pet one
great
day.
fins, beautiful fins.
Uh-huh. Beautiful fins. Yes, beautiful fins. We saw New York win Mayor Mamdani.
The name is Mamdani.
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 Yes, yes. We
Period.
saw him win. That was a big win. But we also saw in that sweep a whole bunch of Democrats, a lot of places that
Yes.
initially had red folks, whether they be
Did flip a
mayors.
little bit.
Yep,
Mhm,
all of the
mhm.
people, all of the things. We got our prop pass, the prop to be able to redistrict
Yes, we
California
did.
to make it harder for that man to do what he's doing over there. So we've seen we again we
Well,
there
you know,
have been some
some things
joy,
have happened. Some things have
some joy.
happened. You know, you
Uh
win some,
huh.
you lose some. You
You
lose
do,
more than
you do.
sometimes, you win more sometimes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
What did Fantasia say? Sometimes you got to lose to win. Yeah, so you
Yes. What
got
was she
to
saying?
lose to win. Yes, again, win again. We're seeing a spike in HIV cures.
There's several trials happening, and we're
Yes.
seeing results of, I'm not sorry, I think less than 5 people have officially been cured, but
Hmm.
we're seeing that it's possible, which
Right.
is huge for like the HIV epidemic around the entire country, around the
Yeah.
entire world.
Yeah, and shout
So yeah,
out to some of my friends who work at places like Gilead and a whole bunch of other places that are working on this. Very smart niggas, really, really smart friends that I
yeah.
have who are doing the work to try to end this epidemic. And so I'm just very happy to hear that even with the way that this administration has tried to eradicate HIV work, that there are still, oh, and a shout out to my job. My job, we have a HIV planning council. So
Period.
we are still doing great work around HIV, and I'm very happy to know that it's existing and that it lives. Lastly, on our list, the snack wrap came back.
So I'll just say I don't know how great that is because it's not the same as it used to be. They don't have
It's
a
not
grill
okay. I
option,
haven't
first
had
of
it.
all, which makes me mad.
Hmm.
I used to love the grill ones. It's just crispy, which is fine, but I don't force to be crispy. And I don't think they have the flavor. Like I want the ranch flavor. Like it's
They don't
just
have the ranch flavor.
I think it's like a spicy flavor or
Okay.
just like and I'm like, I want like actually hold on,
No.
let me do a quick Google before I like put
Mm-mm.
my foot in my mouth or something, whatever this
Because
shit
I'm gonna
is.
tell you right now, and people know this about me. And again, you can judge me accordingly. I am a filet o fish girl. The only thing I ever get from
Okay.
McDonald's is
It's
that. So
spicy.
I don't know.
It's yes, it's ranch or spicy snack, but the spicy is not that good. And I want a grilled, not just always a crispy. So now I'm gonna go for the Jack Rabbit Jack in the Box. Like I want
T. Yeah, you
options.
said I want options. I know that's right. What I will also say, a part of the downfall of 2025 has been they changed the sweet and sour sauce over at Wendy's to some type
Mm,
of sweet and spicy situation. And it's not good. I don't like
mm,
it. So there are a couple of changes that have happened this year. I'm not too happy about, but I will say for those who are happy, the snack wrap has made her way back into our lives.
period.
We got the high C orange. The world is healing.
Ooh,
Okay,
what is
the world is
healing?
healing. So yeah,
Yeah,
those are some of the highs. If y'all want to
period.
share with us what some of your
Tell us
highs
what
were,
yeah, what your highs are, and maybe we'll post it on the gram or something. Now that we have given y'all some joy of this horrid year, and we have some stuff to leave on a good note, we're gonna take one more break and come back with the rest of the show for the last time of 2025.
amen.
More to say.
All right, y'all. So this is gonna be a real quick oh yes ma'am and a no ma'am Pam because your girl just got a few things.
That
She ain't
part.
got nothing heavy, nothing heavy. For us to start, I was gonna say so this year my yes ma'am Pam is to all of us, to anybody who listens to the show, to anybody who's doing good work, to anybody who doesn't know about the show is going to find the show and is going to listen
Okay.
to the show because I am manifesting that our listenership in 2026 is going to grow substantially.
Uh,
That is what I'm manifesting. We are
yes.
going to get higher numbers. I just wanted to quickly say we all got through this year and we still have so much hope, so much compassion, so much passion. A lot of us are still doing good work, even with the ways that the world is moving to try to take that away from us. I think both of us are doing good work and both on the mic and off the mic. And
Yeah.
so this year really tried to get niggas to quit,
Mm-hmm.
including us. It really got us to places in our in both our lives, both in this work where we almost said, is this worth it? And I'm just so happy that we didn't. And so,
Mm,
like Miss Seeley, and we're celebrating the 40th year of the color purple. Like Miss Seeley,
mm.
I'm
Ah,
still here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I only
mm.
sing the Fantasia version because that's the only version that I really care for. No shade to Cynthia. I just think that Fantasia was the best in that role. It is what it is. All that to be said, my no man Pam, this for the last time this year. I've just literally just put nigga shit. And I wanted to shout out
Mm.
my friend Daryl, who really, or Darrell, I want to make sure I say it right. Darrell, my friend Darrell, who oftentimes will respond to me when I send the messages and they'll just go nigga shit. Nigga shit, for those
Facts.
of you who don't know what nigga shit is. So I also want to remind folks that some of our listeners can't say it, but for those of you who know what nigga shit is, you don't have to be black to do nigga shit. Nigga shit is stuff that just is raggedy, stuff that people do that you're just like, why are you doing this? You don't need to be doing this. Also, people who make plans and then cancel very close.
Cancel last minute.
Last minute. That's nigga
On some
shit.
dumbass reason.
For a dumbass reason. Nigga shit.
So
Uh-huh.
let's see. People who come into your house,
Yeah.
don't do dishes. People who come into
Yeah.
eat your shit, don't do
Eat your shit.
dishes.
Yeah. So we're in the holidays. When people
Okay.
come over,
Okay.
don't bring
Come in the
nothing.
house, don't take their shoes off.
Don't bring
Go through your
nothing.
fridge.
Eat
Don't
all the
restock
shit.
nothing. Don't
Yep.
do a dish. Don't hand you
Hmm.
the dishes.
Yeah.
Talk
And
shit
then
to you during the whole thing. Girl,
they don't take a plate. And you didn't do anything to make this event better,
they don't bring
but
no
you want to take
food.
food.
Exactly. Yes, yes,
But
yes.
you want to take food. Nigga
Mm,
shit. So all that to be said, this year I'm just over nigga shit. I'm dealing with some nigga shit where I live. For those of you who know me, know I moved a year and a half ago. Dealing with some stuff around me that just is pure nigga shit, and I'm just very, very sick of it. And to
mm,
boot, when it's very frustrating because you pay a lot of money to live where you live, regardless of where you live
yeah.
in this specifically in California. You pay a lot of money, and you have leasing agents. You have all these people that supposedly this is their job is to make your living experience better. They often don't, and so I think that's also part of the
Yeah.
nigga shit. Is like
Often
you're,
don't.
yeah, they often don't. So I'm just here to say my no man Pam. I hope we can leave it in 2025. It's just nigga shit. People doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. The stuff that just makes you go, really, really, girl? Like, we're really doing this? Okay.
Mm.
Okay, good. All right. What about you, girl? What's on your yes, ma'ams?
My yes ma'ams, girl. Honestly, I just today's a day where I'm like, I don't know. Yes, ma'am, to us because we did get through it. We
Mm-hmm.
have been saying throughout this whole year to each other, this has been some heavy shit. Some of the heavy stuff that I think we've had to go through in
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. And so yes, ma'am, to us. We came through another year, and for doing it with showing up for each other, for loving each other, for being like, bitch, I see you and hear you.
Yeah.
Um, yes, ma'am, to this team for putting the show through every week
Joey, Chris,
amazingly.
we love you.
Yes, ma'am,
Yeah.
to Chris, our editor
Mm-hmm.
extraordinaire, who is just always doing this work so flawlessly.
Yeah.
To Joey and Bay, Bay for supporting us and helping us get through this
Yeah.
transition. Joey
Yeah.
for picking up and doing so well.
Oh, love
Yeah,
Joey and Bay
love.
so much.
So like really yes ma'am to everything. Oh, I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
yes ma'am to one of our OG producers, Becca Ramos,
Yes. Yeah.
who is launching her own show next
What?
year too. Yes, launching her own show as well that will focus
Okay.
on Puerto Rican voices.
I know that's right.
Girl, if you get Bad Bunny, let me be in the audience, please. Let me be in the audience, would be
I
great,
just want to sit
please.
on his lap, but go off.
I just want I
Hmm.
won't tell you when I'm sick because it's not appropriate, but
Yeah.
eh,
How you
how
doing?
you doing, my
Hmm.
no man Pam? You know what? I'm gonna sign off this year by not giving that energy out to people and just say I have nothing to say. You know what? You know what also I said that this year gave me was a gift of learning to mind my own damn business. I ain't get involved no more. I don't need to say shit. Listen, this is an art, full circle. I began popping off this episode, and now I'm just like, you know what? Whatever happens next, in my business. In my business. I'm not mind the business that pays me, that feeds me, finances me, or affects me.
I'm screaming because we have been doing this for too long because I know I know that body language and I know what it means.
The body speaks volumes. The body speaks
And
volumes.
I'm screaming because you said I'm not gonna say anything.
Not gonna say anything. No need.
And I know
No need.
that what's so funny about it to me is that it says everything.
No need.
Even though you didn't say anything at all, I know what it says. I love it. Oh my
And that's
God.
on subtext.
You are
Period.
such a
Period.
fave of mine. I love it. Man, I will say, so we honestly, we have reached the end of our show. We got to wrap it up, but I will honestly say, to every listener, to everybody who really came through for Black Fat Femme this year, thank you. We really thank you. Oh, I wanted to also say, I was thinking about it. Another highlight and gratitude was you being able to do one of my book talks. So we were able
Ah!
to be together. We got to eat. We got to do a whole bunch of. We got to have a really good time in that weekend alone.
Mm-hmm.
That was also another highlight of
That
the year for
was
me, was
that
spending that
was yeah.
weekend
That
with
was true.
you and being able to do.
And we had more
Yeah.
people than most people have had
Eh,
in that space.
literally,
Okay.
literally. Yes. So we definitely we did what we needed to do on that day. I'm just like I said, I think I can speak for you when I can say we are very grateful to the community that supports the show.
Hmm.
We are thankful to everybody who continues to support us both in the show and out of the show. And yeah, we definitely just thank you. Thank you. We're just very, very thankful to
Mm,
have this platform, and we don't take it for granted. With that being said, if there was something this year that you want to highlight, and you obviously feel like we didn't get to it, send us your thoughts, your feedback, and your emails to blackfatfempod@gmail.com. I wish that was something I was actually going to do real quick. I was going to go into our analytics, and I meant to make a note of that. I was going to specifically shout out, because you can see in the analytics who listens where.
yeah. Oh, well,
And I was
I'm gonna do like a wrap for us
Okay.
before the
Okay.
end of the
Then
year.
never
So
mind. We don't
yeah,
have to spend too much time on
don't
that.
worry. I'll do
But
this
I was gonna
weekend.
say, I just wanted to say shout out to the listeners in the different regions. We have a lot of listeners in Canada. We have a lot of listeners in the UK. We
Hmm.
have quite a few listeners in the Netherlands, and then also even down in Brazil. So
Mm.
just all the listeners, South Africa, Morocco, Singapore,
Yes.
we see you, we thank you, and we appreciate you. We would love to hear from you, so please share with us what some of your highs from this year. We will probably do a kickoff of following up on your thoughts, and then going into 2026 what our thoughts will be. You can interact with us on Instagram and Threads by using our handle Black Fat Femme Pod. We love y'all down to the social medias. Y'all are actually really funny, and I love that
Mm.
y'all stay in our DMs. With that being said, Joho, where can the dolls find you as we are on break?
Mm. Of course, you can find me all Joe Downs across all socials, posting some silly shit, maybe some obsessions with some coffee shops or anything.
Oh, I saw that reel,
Thank you. It
by
was
the way.
cute.
It was
It was
cute.
cute,
It was
right?
really
My
cute.
website,
Uh-huh.
joedaniels.com. If not there, don't come looking, girl. If the vans are, as my dad would say, if the vans are rocking, don't come knocking.
I know that's right.
Okay.
I live for that. I live for it, honey. You can find me down to www.drjohnpaul.com. You can also find me on social medias. I am going to be off, or I'll say we are going to be off for a couple of weeks. So with that being said, you will hear from us again. We come back the first week. So our first new episode that we will have will be Tuesday, January 13th. So we look forward to seeing you there. But otherwise, like you said, if y'all don't want nothing, please don't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want to send us gifts, then I will
Send us
happily.
gifts.
I'll answer the door real quick, girl.
I
Okay.
said this online, and I'm gonna say it here. Y'all have a lot to say about fat people. Well, since you love to talk about fat people so much on social, send us some gift cards. I'm trying to buy some stuff off of One Peloton, so you can,
Period.
trying to keep my status, because
Period.
I'm gold 3, honey. So if you want to
Uh,
you
uh.
want to talk about me being fat, send me a gift card. There's a whole bunch of things in my list that I would love to buy. Please do. With that being said, also buy my book, run it up, put it in people's stocking. You can also find my spot on ABC, Our America, Who I Want to Be, where I talk about this wonderful show, how the show became what it is, and why we need more queer just why we need more queer shit being made. Honestly, it's really disappointing. I don't know if you saw that study that came
Yep.
out
Oh yeah.
from the Hollywood people over at UCLA,
That's
and
one of
it's
the things
just
why I was. That's one of the things why I was like, I got shit to say.
yeah, it's just it's really disheartening to think of where we are in media. But anyway, the show's still on the air, and as long as we're on the air, we're doing the thing. With that being said, we want to thank our super producer Joey for making this shit pop every single week in 2025. And also everyone over at iHeartMedia who says this show is the shit, and we're gonna keep it up and running. We
Okay.
also want to shout out our wonderful editor, Chris Rogers, because, and I fight every time I say this to not get emotional. I don't think y'all understand how truly, like, just talented and um Chris is just such a talented individual. And to have them be a part of the legacy of this show since day one, in my opinion, has been one of the highlights of
Mm,
me coming to the mic every single week, is
mm,
knowing that when I done working with my sister, I get to take this to another person I love, and I get to work with them on the visuals and all the other parts of this show. So, Chris, this is just me fawning over you and just saying, I hope when you hear this, you know that this show this year could not be what it is without you. And I really hope that you take that to heart. With that being said, it's been another show. It has been a year. Stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember what, Joho, going into 2026.
We may not be your cup of tea, but girl, it's okay. Drink some water, get some eggnog, spike your teas, baby, and let yourself be free at the end of 2025. It's going to be 2026. We'll see you then.
Amen. We will see you in January. Bye, y'all.
Bye.